So I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be as honest as possible. For the single people, why do you think that single people or most single people are actually single? And be completely honest with yourself, even if you're one of them. Do you think it's because they're waiting for the right person? Or do you think it's simply because most of them can't attract the type of person that they really want in their lives, deep down? If we were being completely honest with ourselves, let's face it, most of the single people, not all of them, but most of them are single because they can't attract that type of person to them that they really want. They lie to themselves, they bullshit themselves, and they tell themselves, oh, it's just not my time, I'm just not able to, I'm just so busy, I'm focused on work. When really those are like superficial answers to the bigger underlying problem of they just don't have their shit together. Maybe they do in their career, maybe they do in this, maybe they do in that, but they just have a fundamental error or like an issue attracting members of the opposite sex to them, the right members that is, because maybe they have a decent amount of people that they can attract, but just not the type that they really want. Which brings us to the question, is this really the issue of not being your time? Or is it really because you just aren't that quality of person yet? Because if you worked on yourself, we all can become that person. So you're just not that quality of person yet that you can attract that kind of person to you. You see, the issue is a lot of us bullshit ourselves into believing that yes, if we just waited, we just find the right person. And it's just not your time right now. But all the things that you're asking for, maybe you can truly find in a person if you just waited long enough. I think part of that, sure, is true. Part of that, statement is true. But most of it is fake. Most of it is bullshit. Because think about it this way. All the traits that you look for in someone, whether it's looks, whether it's spiritual traits, whether it's personality traits, whatever those kinds of things are, you should ask yourself, those traits, like those traits that you're asking for, do you have within yourself? Or do you have the sexual equivalent, the polar equivalent of those traits? For example, if you're looking for someone very feminine, you have to be very masculine. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And be completely honest with yourself. Sure, maybe you are honest. I don't know. I mean, I hope you are, right? But most people, deep down, they're not. And even if they are honest with themselves, they don't even know what they're looking for. A lot of times it's all the things that are on the surface, the superficial level. I want someone who's religious. Ultra religious people tend to ask for that, and that's fine. There's different strokes for different folks, but they ask for things on the surface. Someone who's religious, someone who's this, someone who's that. What about their personality traits? What about the things that they value? Those are the biggest things, in my opinion, the things that they value, aside, of course, from looks, because looks are very important. Do these people value the same things as you? Or when you're searching for someone, are you searching for someone who values certain things that you don't value, even though you say you value? Let's take me, for example. Honest to God, these are what I'm looking for. Someone who's attractive. I have to have a strong level of attraction to whoever I'm going to be with because, at least in my opinion, that's necessary. It's not just superficial. And then also they have to have strong communication skills because I have strong communication skills. They have to be emotionally mature because I'm emotionally mature and I worked on these things within myself. They have to be in decent shape because I'm in decent shape. They have to value personal development because I value personal development. They should, not have to, but they should be adventurous and fun and spontaneous. They should like to have deep conversations from time to time, not just boring, same, mundane, routine conversations. Ideally extroverted, charismatic, ideally, not necessarily, but ideally. They should value personal development and growth like I do. You see, all those things that I just mentioned, I have within myself. I'm looking for a woman who has those traits. But most people are not like that. And I'm not saying this because I think I'm better than you. I'm just saying this because I've been doing this for quite some time, working on myself to make myself better than I was before. Am I flawed? 100%. I'm very flawed. However, I still know where my flaws are and I'm still working on them to the best of my knowledge to make myself better, a better person than I was yesterday, the day before. Take these videos, for example. These videos right now are better than the videos last year, which are better than the videos the year before, which are better than before, and so on and so forth. You see, I'm growing, I'm becoming better. And if you take a look at most people, most men specifically, because women, they're always gonna have their fair share of options. Most men, or most single men, not just most men, most single men, they tend to have these ideas of who they want to attract. And the quality of a woman that they want to attract is way above them. It's like they're here, maybe they're doing decent, but she's like over here. She's like a 10 out of 10 in looks. She has these characteristics that he doesn't have. She's way above him. And then, not to say it in like a rude way, but she worked on herself, let's say, or she's making way more money, or she's way prettier. She's way out of like his league, quote unquote, right? even though he can make himself better. It's like he has these things. And I personally know people like that. It's like, dude, I understand that you want all these traits, but she's not really gonna look to a man like you. A woman like that is gonna look for a man who has all his shit together, financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in every single way. She's gonna wanna learn from him, but if you're with her, you're the one who's gonna have to, kind of look up to her. She doesn't want that, dude. So the moral of the story, or my question to you is, why are you still single? I know for me, I just haven't found my person because I'm not trying to settle. There's a lot of people out there who settle too. It's like the first woman who's really obsessed with him, she really likes him a lot. He's like, yeah, I won't be able to find this anywhere else. She's really obsessed with me, so I might as well just settle for her. Even though I kind of like her, but I don't really like her that much. Deep down, that's how they feel. For me, I already know I have a lot to offer. Just like I mentioned, all the things I'm looking for, I already offer myself. I'm in good shape, I'm tall. I know those are considered materialistic, but those are like bonus points in terms of physical attractiveness. I make pretty good money for the average person my age. I'm on personal development. I do other things on the side. I like to travel. I have a YouTube channel. I have strong communication skills. I'm emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent, all these things. And so the question is, why are you still single? That's why I'm still single. I'm very picky, and I understand some people might be like, oh, you have to lower your standards, all that bullshit, which I don't even believe in. And there's no such thing as being too picky, because if you think about it, you're supposed to be picky. You're choosing your future person. That's literally the most important choice of your life. The person you're gonna settle down with. People are more pickier about jobs than that. You're supposed to be way more pickier about this. This is the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. Of course you're gonna be picky. I'm trying to settle down. I'm not just trying to have a fling for a few months and that's it. So that's the question, or the question of why do you think most single people are still single? Why is it that they're still single? Is it really because they're picky and they're looking for the right person because they have a lot of options, but they're very picky and they want a specific type of person and they feel a specific type of way about them? Or is it because they just simply can't attract those types of people to them? They themselves know the answer to this. And guys, as always, I'm always preaching for people to work on themselves, especially the men, in every single way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in all different ways. Because when you work on yourself, you become better and you can attract better as a result. Me personally, in my early 20s, I was basically asking for things and my standards were way lower than they are right now. Because I wasn't as good in terms of my value, because I wasn't making as much money. I wasn't mentally the same. I wasn't emotionally the same. I wasn't spiritually the same. I wasn't even physically the same. I look way better now. Even though I lost some hair, I look way better now than I did back then. I'm more confident now. So the kind of woman I can attract as a byproduct is better than the woman from, let's say, 5 years ago. She was over here, now she's like over here. Because I became better. I raised my standards. You should be the exact same way. So the moral of the story, man, is if you are still single, figure out why it is that you are still single and, figure out what you're looking for and become that kind of man, or like I said, the sexual reciprocal. If she's very feminine, you want her to be very masculine, etc. And then you will naturally attract a person to you that way, just naturally as a byproduct. And even if you don't do it at that, given moment, either way, you're becoming better. So it's a win-win situation. Focus more on that than focusing on, oh, how come she's not texting me back? How come this girl doesn't want me back? Don't even pay her any mind, bro. Don't even focus on that. You're way better. You could do way better. You could attract way better. The future you is going to be looking at this stupid predicament you have, and then he's going to be like, dude, you could have done way better back then. 2-3 years later, look at you. You look way better. You're way more confident. You're making way more money. You're just way more taken care of. You take so much better care of yourself than you were before. That's how you should think. Just keep that in the back of your mind, man, and keep elevating to become better. And I promise you, there's nothing that's going to go wrong when you work on yourself more, because you attract better, you become better, you feel better, you just radiate better into the world. And that's exactly what's going to come back your way, dude, if you work on yourself. Trust me.